All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. As you come in, don't forget to say hello so that I can welcome you effectively. I'm sorry I'm running late again today. I'm, like I said, trying to work homeschooling and getting homeschooling done so that I can get into these videos right away, right at 11 is becoming problematic at best, but I'm doing my best to try and make sure that I go live, even if it's late. So here we are. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, if you're coming on in, don't forget to say hi so that I can shout you out real quick. I'm not going to do a ton of those. I want to get right into my subject as quick as I can. I'm pretty excited about this subject. I talked about it before, but I just feel like it needs to be reiterated at this point for you guys and for me to remind myself why I have chosen to believe what I believe about fasting. So let's just see who's here. Don't forget to say hello. I'm going to say hi to you if you're here. And if you are not saying hello, then I won't say hi to you. All right. Angela 88 Snuggles is here. Constant Dunlap is here. Welcome. Tina Blair is here. That's all who said hi so far. I can see there's more of you here. Don't forget to say hi. All right. Well, also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. You can close the little chat window, click the thumbs up, and open it back up. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, gets this video seen. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe how many subscribers I've gotten in the last 2 days. I haven't had this many subscribers in a short amount of time since my 1 year on keto video went crazy viral. So here's hoping that's a sign that my video is going. It seems like the views on it are going really well for my 200 pounds lost video, which is a relief because I've tried to get another video to do that for like 2 years now and have not succeeded. Well, about almost 2 years. I guess in January it'll be 2 years since that one went crazy and got my whole game started here on YouTube. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, don't forget to say hello if you're coming down in. Oh, Epiphany London Sue is here. I'm remembering. Thank you for your help with that. Amanda from Our Life to the Keto Way is here. Welcome. Amy Adam is here. AP's Journey is here. Welcome. All right. So there are a few of you here. I am going to just get started on this because I don't want it to be too long of a video, and his video is 20 minutes. I definitely don't want my discussion about what he says to be more than 20 minutes. That would be kind of counterintuitive. Again, sorry about my elastic. It is what it is. I could take it out, but I'm not going to. All right, so Dr. Phinney's video was from a year ago. I believe it was a low-carb Breckenridge where he spoke. He actually was asked to come and speak on a different subject and only agreed to speak on the other subject if he could speak on this subject as well. This is kind of a soapbox issue for him. It's where he and doctors like Dr. Fung disagree, and it's where I disagree. And so I wanted to really go in depth in this video, and I highly recommend you going and watching the video yourself because this one is not too sciencey to understand. I feel like he explained it really well. A lot of times Dr. Phinney and those scientists can get a little bit sciencey with their explanations to the point where it feels like you're watching something from another planet. But I feel like this one was really understandable, and I highly recommend everybody watching it and reading the comments below because it's entertaining. But I won't go into the comments. I'm just going to talk about Dr. Phinney's video. So the video is called The Metabolic Effects of Fasting, a Two-Edged Sword. And it is available on his channel. But if you just search Dr. Phinney Fasting, and Phinney is spelled Phinney, it will pop up. I'm sure that one of my awesome moderators will likely stick it here in the live chat for me. Good chance. And if not, I am going to also add it to the description of this video once the video goes live as a regular video instead of a live video. So, metabolic effects of fasting, a two-edged sword. It's funny, he kind of goes into the video making jokes. He kind of says, well, I know that you guys are going to not like this subject because a lot of you guys are proponents of long-term fasting for many reasons, but I will give a caveat that I don't make any money from fasting. And it's really funny when he says that line in the video because you can hear the guffaws. I mean, like loud guffaws of the other doctors in the room who think that is so hilarious because like no one makes money from fasting unless they're talking about fasting. making videos about it. But yeah. So what he is referring to in this video is fasting longer than 48 hours. So in the video, when he refers to intermittent fasting, he is not talking about the common use of intermittent fasting, which is what I do, which is like 16 hours of the day fasting and then consuming food the 8 hours that you have left. He's talking about like what I've seen some people do. I've seen some channels do this where they consume um a decent amount of food on 2 days, and then they will like fast for 2 days, and then they'll kind of go back and forth. When he's saying intermittent, he's saying a mini long-term fast in the week where you don't consume food for 48 hours. So that's what he's referring to in the video. So if that's confusing, that's why. That's the one thing that I found a little confusing, because most people refer to intermittent fasting as like a 16-8 daily type of fast, not a weekly taking 2 days off fast. When I was doing isogenics, which I highly recommend not doing, it is an MLM and it does not work. That's actually what was recommended. We had 2 weeks where we would eat whatever amount of food, and then we had to do a 2 to 3 day fast every 2 weeks. And it was kind of dumb because it wasn't even a true fast, because they made you take like some kind of carby drink. I don't know. It doesn't work. Let's just put it that way. It's ridiculous. They're just trying to take your money. It doesn't work. You can get just as good a protein shake from freaking GNC. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So the very first part of the video is actually the most important part. So if you only watch the part about metabolic rate, that is the part that is the most important, in my opinion, to your deciding whether or not a long fast is right for you. So he talks about the fact that there's no new data about metabolic rate and fasting. All of the data he is using is like older than dirt and used, really old, antiquated testing methods. But the reason why he's not using new data is because he wants to prove that this data has been around for a really long time and it has withstood the test of time, okay? So the data that he's using is not cherry picked. He goes over that a million times in the video. He talks about how I did not cherry pick this data. I made very careful surety to make sure there was no thing that was refuting what I am saying here, that there is no data out there that says what I'm saying isn't a fact. So that to me was really good, because I feel like he's not just saying his opinion. He's using actual science that's been around for a really long time. It's withstood the test of time, and it's supporting his hypothesis or his view on metabolic rate and fasting. So basically, all of the studies he showed that after 5 to 10 days, your metabolic rate begins to go down. And what your metabolic rate is, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, is basically the amount of calories that your lean tissue burns while sitting still, okay? So like doing nothing, just sitting here on my bed, I'm burning 1,500 calories about based on my lean mass metabolic rate, okay? So that's what he's saying. He says after 5 to 10 days of fasting, the rate begins to go down. After 30 days of fasting, there is a 25% reduction in metabolic rate, which is like insane. That's a huge reduction. He goes back to say that there is no data officially that says whether or not you will regain some of that, but I will go into that in a minute. He does say that a lot of the people that are proponents of fasting focus on the boost in metabolism that is given the first couple of days after beginning a fast. So in the first couple of days, there can be a spike in metabolism that is caused by catecholamine, I think is what he says. He's like, that lasts for about 2 days, and then what? So they're basing long-term fasting on banking on that continues on. And he is saying that does not continue on, that after only a few days, your metabolic rate goes down, and there is no proof that it ever will come back up again. He is saying that it can cause permanent damage to your basal metabolic rate, which means you have to work even harder and eat even less to burn a calorie. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like horrifying to me. That sounds like the worst thing that could possibly happen. The only study that has studied, and he said it was sad that there was even a study that has studied people that have done that, where they've had a drastic cut and then seen what happened 5 years later, is actually the Biggest Loser study. So we all know what happened to all of the Biggest Losers, right? And there's a reason. There is a reason that a lot of them struggled to keep the weight off. And that's because they had such an extreme caloric deficit with such a high amount of caloric expenditure that it was basically like fasting themselves, okay? So it is possible to consume food and at such a small amount and exercise at such a high amount that it is basically like putting your body into starvation mode. 5 years later, the Biggest Loser people that were studied had a 20% persistent reduction in metabolic rate. 20%, they still burned 20%. And they have like this, he talked about the science of that, like what it is that they use to determine that, some kind of oxygen, something or other. I don't know how, I didn't pay much attention to the actual sciencey part of that because it's not that important to me. I just wanted to see that even 5 years later, when they've consumed food and they have not been starving their bodies, they still had permanent metabolic damage. And he is saying that long-term fasting can cause permanent metabolic damage. And for me, that is a hard no. That's never happening. I'm never doing it because I am not going to risk losing the calorie burn because it's hard enough. It's hard enough to lose the weight. But having permanent damage to my metabolic rate is just going to make it even harder in the long run. And the older I get, the worse it will be, right? Because our metabolic rate is just going down. It's declining anyway because of our age. So I don't even want to go there. That to me is basically a deal breaker. I will not be following Dr. Fung or anybody who suggests long-term fasting because the studies say that long-term fasting can damage your body. And this is not Dr. Phinney's studies. These are other people's studies. These have been here for a long time. This is not a recent discovery. This is something that has been documented for, a long, long time. He didn't say the dates, but I'm sure it's a very long time. Dr. Phinney himself, I thought he had studied for only 20 plus years the ketogenic way of eating. Actually, I discovered recently that Dr. Phinney has been studying it for 40 plus years. He actually began his study way back when he first became an MD because he wanted to prove that a ketogenic diet was bad, and he ended up proving himself wrong and becoming the biggest proponent of ketogenic living that's pretty much out there. And he himself eats ketogenically and has eaten ketogenically for decades and successfully and happily is sustainably doing it. So I'm going to trust Dr. Phinney just because I think Dr. Phinney's the smartest guy on the planet when it comes to ketogenic. And in my opinion, he's the best expert. But, don't take my word for it. You can study all the experts you want and decide. But that is the main reason that I don't support long-term fasting. He does go into a lot more reasons. Some of them I understood and some I didn't. He talks about nitrogen excretion and how you can measure the amount of protein that's being burned by the body or whatever by what it's being excreted ureally. I'm guessing that's urine, but I really don't know. But he said urea. I don't know. Anyway, and measuring the nitrogen. So basically he's saying if you're eating 100 grams of protein, about 100 grams of protein is also what is being excreted by your body. And so basically you're just going along maintaining your regular protein excretion. When you, it says basically a lot of stuff about proteins being broken down to amino acids. It goes in the bloodstream, can be used for protein synthesis, which I've talked about before. Muscle protein synthesis is what basically builds and heals your muscle. So that's what happens. It breaks down, it goes in your body, it can be used for that. The body is actually using 400 grams of protein. 400. So when people are telling you you're going to eat too much protein and that your body's going to turn it into cake because it doesn't need it, that's bull. Are you really going to consume more than 400 grams of protein a day? That would be hard. If I eat all the protein I want, I can sometimes close to 200. That's about as much as I can stomach, even if I add in a protein shake. So don't worry about that. That's one thing I got from that as well that wasn't even in the video, but I was like, oh, that is so interesting. So there's only 100 grams of protein being excreted by your body through protein turnover. And that's what he's saying. When you go into a fast and you're not eating any protein, your body is still burning that 400 protein. So he says most people lose a half a pound of lean mass to a pound of lean mass in the very first week of fasting. You guys know if you lose your lean mass, you are basically lowering your metabolic rate just by that, right? Because your lean mass is what determines what's being burned in your body. Okay? So that to me is huge. You do not want to lose your lean mass. And I will go into that when I talk about my DEXA scan. I probably won't be posting that video until next week. I need some time to wrap my brain around it. But suffice it to say that even eating 120 to 150 grams of protein this summer, I lost lean mass. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not really happy about it right now. And I need to figure out why that is. Because he's basically saying here, if you're eating 100 grams, you should maintain. And I was eating way more than that and I wasn't maintaining. So I need to figure out why my body thought that it was going into starvation or it was burning way more than my body was consuming. I don't know, but I need to figure that out. So just be careful with your lean mass. Any kind of fasting, and maybe it's the intermittent fasting that's doing it. That's actually where I'm heading in my brain a little bit. We'll see. I don't know if it's true. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm just trying to figure things out for myself, right? Okay. So, I mean, if you have anything to say about that, feel free to say it. I'm going to go back and check all your comments in a minute. Not the last one. The second to the last one was one that I don't think it would be an issue just because I think most people know that even on most keto people definitely know that you can deplete your electrolytes when you don't consume them. Like being on ketogenic diet anyway is a diet where you have to supplement electrolytes just because your body just does not retain them anymore. It's anti-inflammatory. Your body doesn't need it in the body, but it really needs it to run the body. It's kind of this weird thing that happens. When you go into a fast without supplementing sodium at all, it increases your cortisol because it increases stress hormones. And basically, it makes you dump your potassium so bad that when you go back, you have to consume so much to replenish it. It's really dangerous. He talked about magnesium loss. You lose magnesium from lean lost tissue. And so I'm starting to wonder about that myself, like if that has something to do with why I've had a hard time with some Charlie horse issues and things like that. Maybe it's because I've lost lean tissue and I'm losing my magnesium. And he says it takes time to build that back up. Once you have come from a fasting state to an eating state, it takes some time to replenish that if you weren't replenishing while you're fasting. So hopefully, if you were doing a long-term fast, you would know that and you would be supplementing still your sodium, potassium, and magnesium in order to make sure that that didn't happen. Because if I were to do a fast, I would never, ever in a million years do it without supplementing those. That would be, in my opinion, I don't know the word, but it would just be stupid. Don't do that. So if you're going to fast, make sure you do I think everybody that fasts knows that. At least they should. And they do it. Most of them do it. Okay. So, there is two more. Actually, there's two more points that he made. This one's just real quick because it doesn't apply to everyone here. But if you are a person with type 2 diabetes and you choose to do intermittent fasting where you do 2 days of fasting and then you eat and then you do 2 days of fasting and then you eat, which is really actually common fad amongst people with type 2 diabetes and actually is recommended by a lot of doctors, he said. And the doctors will tell you to make sure that you decrease your meds on the days you're fasting and then increase them on the days that you aren't. He says even with the decrease in meds, your risk for hypoglycemia is huge. He says it's very dangerous and it causes this weird roller coaster up and down that is just dangerous. He says he said it can lead to a slippery slope of doom or something like that. It was bad. So if you are type 2 diabetic, it's even more important to not do that and stay as stable as you can in order to, and you know that, I don't know if you know, but Dr. Phinney's mission is to reduce type 2 diabetes across the planet. That is literally what his life's mission is. So when he talks about diabetes, you should listen because that's what he studies in depth the most. And those who tell you the higher protein is going to be bad for you, if you have type 2 diabetes, doesn't know what they're talking about, because that is how Dr. Phinney does it. And he is like the foremost front runner of study when it comes to type 2 diabetes. And he has cured so many people. Well, not cured, put into remission so many people. Because I don't really think you can ever cure type 2 diabetes, because if you go back to eating the way you were eating, you will get it back. It's just like remission. Okay, and then the last one is one that I thought interesting. I didn't even realize could be a thing, but I guess if you're doing a long-term fast, it definitely could be a thing. He calls it refeeding syndrome. He's like, they would, rescue people who had been starving, and they would put them on this drip of glucose to try and bring their, glycogen back up in their liver. And instead, their body would dump all their electrolytes and phosphorus and put them into basically a comatose state. It happens when people find people that have been starving and give them a bunch of food as well. So if you are fasting, do not consume glucose. It can kill you. So if you are coming out of a fasting state, you need to reintroduce food slowly. You definitely want to stay keto. And this is just even from a short-term fast. You don't want to risk refeeding syndrome. Do you want to risk dying? No, you do not. Don't risk that. So be really careful. And he did say that if you are going to come back in from a fast, you should be being monitored by a doctor. You should not be doing this by yourself. It is too dangerous to mess with by yourself. So basically, the reasons why not to do it, why Dr. Phinney says it's not worth it. Number one, early tissue lost is not minor. Number two, metabolic damage can be permanent. And the biggest one is that fasting loses its effectiveness over time and causes an addiction to fasting that causes you to become more and more extreme the more you do it. You get addicted to the feeling of crushing your goals, of being, without food, and you'll do it for longer and longer periods of time. And every time you do it for a longer period of time, it doesn't work as well. And so you feel like you have to push it further and push it further. And it basically puts you into a dangerous place where refeeding syndrome could happen and things like that. So he basically said, don't do it. So if you want to watch his video, again, it's called Metabolic Effects of Fasting, a Two-Edged Sword. And it's really easy to find by searching Dr. Phinney fasting. That's how I found it. It was really easy to find. I just felt really motivated and inspired to talk about that today. In light of my DEXA scan results, I'm thinking a lot about how 1,300 calories, even with the higher protein, maybe wasn't my best idea at this point. Trying to wrap my brain around that, and I'm hoping I'll have my brain wrapped around what my plan is to do by the time I make my DEXA scan video for you guys. But the loose skin video has to come out first. Thank you to all of my new Patreons who have joined. I appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me that you guys just don't get mad at me when I mention Patreon, but that is where I post all those fun videos first. I do post them all on YouTube. It's just everybody that's on Patreon gets to see them first, to say thanks, and for their help with this channel. I appreciate it so much. And welcome to all the new people. My brain is exploding how excited I am that my video is taking off and I'm getting so many new friends that I can help. If there's any questions that I can answer for you, don't forget to put it in the comments, either here in the live chat or later in the comment section, so that I can answer them in video form. Now that I am moving into maintenance, I am looking for more things to talk about that you guys want to know. And I thought this one was a big one because it gets thrown around. Why don't you do fasting? Whenever people come to a place where they aren't losing as quickly as they'd like to, or they feel like they are in a stall, fasting is always recommended by people who really don't know what they're talking about. And I really think that everyone should watch this video by Dr. Phinney before they make the decision of whether or not they are going to do fasting or not. So, all right, that's my soapbox from there. I'm going to go back up to the top and see who else is here and see if you guys have any questions. Welcome, Layla Daly. Welcome, Jennifer Angus. Welcome, Christina Salmon, Donna Hatch, Keto Grace, Karen Rothwell. Woohoo, she's here. She's my moderator. She and Teresa, Keto Fat Girl No More, are my awesome moderators here on this chat. Hi, JJ. Hi, Kelly Peters. Suyapa Opina. I like meat. Me too. Don't challenge me. I'm feeling like I need a steak today. Karen, I just gave you your permission. Steak time. Steak time. I think I answered, am I saying extended fasting or intermittent fasting? I'm talking about extended fasting, not intermittent fasting, though I am starting to think that intermittent fasting might actually be a problem as well based on my DEXA scan results. Eek. Okay. Karen says, I wonder if some amount of lean mass loss isn't unusual for us who have been carrying around 100 extra pounds. Lord knows my legs don't need to be as strong as they were 50 pounds ago. Yes, but my DEXA scan results, basically I gained 6 pounds of lean mass when I was doing 3 meals a day, 2,300 calories, and I lost more than that doing the 1,300 intermittent fasting 2 meals with higher protein. Because I did a higher protein. I stayed at 1,300 calories, raised my protein up, and did lower fat. So the calories were low, were the same, but I still lost a lot. So I gained while I was small. So no, that's not, I mean, I think it's normal, yeah, but for me in this particular case, it's not. Okay, let's see. Melissa Lewis says, I intermittent fast 16/8 daily. If I'm not hungry, I don't think I should eat. I disagree. On keto, you're not hungry. You should still eat. I've been a proponent of that from the very beginning. Number one reason, I don't trust my body. And I don't think anyone should, because I don't think any of us got into, if you weren't obese, then okay, I'm not going to say that. But if you were obese or are obese, I would never trust your body. Your body obviously does not know what it needs. My body does not know what it needs. I cannot trust it to tell me what to do. I cannot trust it to tell me when I'm done. Even eating fat to satiety, I cannot do, because I will eat and eat and eat and eat and eat until I die. I cannot stop eating it. I would pour heavy whipping cream by the gallon into a bowl and eat it with stevia. I would just keep eating if I gave myself permission. Also, I wouldn't eat enough at some times because keto makes you lose your appetite. It's one of the beauties of it is it gives you control over it. When you have control, you need to make sure you eat enough. Obviously, even eating enough to preserve your lean mass isn't always enough. At least that's the case for me, apparently. So, if you want to do intermittent fasting, that's great. But make sure you get your protein number in. Don't mess around with your protein. Even if you're not hungry, eat it. There's many times I force myself to eat when I don't want to eat because I need that protein. When it doesn't taste good, I eat it anyway. So anyway. All right. Hey, Gloria S is here. Dairy Free Keto is here. Sarah, thank you for reminding me. I got Sue. Now I need to get Sarah. Sue's been pounding it into my head. She's doing a good job. You got to do that too. And thank you for reminding me, Sarah. Let's see. April Wooten is here. Welcome. I am very happy. I'm bummed about the DEXA scan, but I'm still very happy. Thank you for posting the link to the video, Karen. Oh, Christina Salmon says, thank you, Tammy. I hit my first goal of 50 by 50 today. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. That's so amazing. Isn't it great when you hit your goal? It's insanely awesome. It's insanely awesome. I'm so happy for you. On to the next one, right? Then what? That's the hard part. Then what? Hey, Victoria. I'm glad you're here. Victoria Ortiz. Let's see. Melissa Lewis says, I lost 50 at 54 years today. Awesome. Congrats. That's so great. 4-year ketoversary. Have you been in maintenance that whole time or are you still losing? I'm curious. Maintenance is the tricky one, right? Yeah. Christina Salmon says, I can't get to 16 hours. Longest I can go is 14. That's totally fine. I actually use 15/9 almost most of the time. And actually, I don't even keep track. I just eat 2 meals. I don't really keep track of the hours. I just kind of eat whenever my schedule allows. So don't stress about that. Don't stress about that. Angela 88 Snuggles says, so are you recommending eating 3 meals per day? I'm 3 weeks in and have been doing it the last week. I don't know what I'm recommending yet. It seems to me that that might be the case. But I don't know, because when I've eaten 3 meals, I've retained so much flipping water. And so I don't know. I don't know yet. Give me a week to figure out what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to work on it this week and figure it out what I'm going to plan to do for the future. Well, at least for the next 3 months, because this is going to be experiment zone, right? We are going to be experimenting with a lot of things on this channel with maintenance, so that by the time you guys get there, you'll have a lot of ideas to try. That's my goal. I want to share everything that I do with you guys. So I have done lazy keto, loose tracking, 2,300 calories, 3 meals a day. And I put on 15 pounds or more of water weight, lost 6 pounds of fat, and put on 6 pounds of lean mass doing that last spring. During the summer, I did 120 to 150, 160 protein. It varied per day depending on how I just felt. And anywhere from 66 to 90 plus fat. There were a few days where I went way over 90 during this summer. Staying between 1,300 and 2,000 calories, basically, depending on the day. But for the average, I'd say it was probably average 1,500, 1,300 the last month. I killed it in September with 1,300 every day. And I did lose a crap ton of fat doing that. But I also lost a crap ton of lean mass doing that. I don't want to lose my lean mass. So I'm kind of torn about what I'm going to do this next 3 months. I know I want to be free to eat keto cakes and treats during the fall. I'm wearing my cozies. I just want to feel like I'm taking a break, even though I'm studying it in depth. So I don't know yet what I'm going to recommend. It might be along those lines, and it might not be. I don't know. I'm debating which one I want to do, whether I want to do 2 meals with a high level of calories and see if that does the trick, or if I want to do 3 meals with a moderate level of calories to see if that does the trick. I can't decide which one I want to try. I'm trying to decide which one would be more fun for me, because I know I'm going to do 3 meals in the spring. So I don't know, guys. I don't know yet. I'm not a scientist, but I feel like when I'm doing this stuff, I'm like, this is how science works. And what's fun is that I'm a homeschooler. So my kids and I are studying homeschool science about this stuff. It's like we get to make our own hypothesis and decide what we're going to try to prove our hypothesis, right? Because over the summer, my hypothesis was that I would decrease my body fat mass by massive amounts, and that I would maintain or improve my lean mass over the summer. That was my hypothesis, and my hypothesis was proven wrong. So now I don't know what my next hypothesis is going to be, but this is what makes it fun. And this is what makes it sustainable for me, is having a new challenge, something to inspire me, right? And there's something to make me think, what can I do next? Because I don't want to get to the point where I'm just like boring as heck, doing the same thing all the time, and never doing anything fun, or never being a scientist. I was never a scientist before, but I feel like one now. So thanks to people like Dr. Phinney, who've done the in-depth study of all the sciencey stuff and able to explain it in a way that I can sort of understand, so that I can put into play in reality in my real life and make myself a science experiment. But see, I was going to mess around with my carbs too and get the ketone meter. Now I don't know if I'm going to do that, because if I change too many variables, how do I know which one is the one that affected the change, right? So I'm not even sure now if I'm going to do that. If I'm going to get the ketone meter, like I said on Sunday, I was like, I'm going to get the ketone meter and I'm going to start checking my ketones, because I was going to raise my carbs up. That was my plan, is to see how high I could go to still stay in ketosis. And now I'm torn about whether or not I just want to mess with macros again. But I will go into more in depth next week when I decide what I'm going to do. That'll be part of the DEXA scan video. I will go over all the results. You can see all the amazingness. There was some good news and bad news. And not bad news, just news I wasn't expecting and kind of bummed out about. It's not like end of the world news, right? I mean, it's just news. It's just more data to go by, right? Oh, and if any of you are local to me, I know Keto Grace is relatively local. Niquina is also, there's a few of you that are local to me. The DEXA scan place says if I can get 15 to 20 people together, they will bring the mobile unit to me. We can have a meetup and we can all do our DEXAs, and I will be there. Like, I can be there all day, like saying hi to everybody and chatting and, talking about what your goals are along with the staff there at the place. It would be a fun way to do a local meetup, and you would get group discount on the price of the DEXA scan. And the mobile unit checks your visceral fat, which is really important. So if any of you are interested in that, drop a comment or send me an email to ketochaos@gmail.com, because if we could get 15 to 20 people to sign up to do that, that would be super fun. We could all do a DEXA scan. So if you've been on the fence about doing it, let's do it. Let's get together. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Let's move on. Oh, and can I just say, Keto Christina told me I did a good job on Instagram. I didn't even know she knew I existed. That was fabulous. When your keto heroes notice you, like Mega, oh my gosh, it's the best. It's the best. Okay. Lee Jane says, I eat 2 meals a day and I just started tracking macros because I only lost 10 pounds in a month. My hubby lost 20 with the same food. Well, that would be because your hubby's body has more lean mass and it burns more calories. And if you're eating the same amount, it's just obvious, that's science, that he would burn more than you. Yeah, definitely, if you can get a hold of my chart, my macros chart, it's a really good place to start. It has a moderate deficit. It's not an extreme deficit. It's a moderate deficit, has a good protein number. It's a great place to start. Like I said, it's where I was the whole time. And ironically, my lean mass went down to about the same as it was when I got it checked the first time. And I'm thinking maybe it's just because that's how many calories can maintain that amount of lean mass. Does that make sense? So I may stay at this lean mass amount. Also, I should mention, Karen Rothwell recommended the Renpho scale to me. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon. And it was within a pound difference on my lean mass and fat mass. It was wrong on my fat percentage by 3%. It was 3% higher on the Renpho scale than it was on actual DEXA scan. But the lean mass amount was very close, and they were shocked. They said that's really accurate for a scale, and it was 20 bucks. So if you're looking for a way to monitor that without getting a DEXA scan, it's really close to get that Renpho scale. It connects via Bluetooth to an app on your phone, and it can tell you if your lean mass and your fat mass is increasing or decreasing over time. I mean, obviously, it has a margin of error that is bigger than a DEXA scan. The DEXA scan has only a 1% margin of error. I asked, could the lean mass gain have been the mistake? And they said, no, there's not that much a margin of error. If anything, it could have been a small margin of error, but not that big. So they said no. Okay. Yes, Janet, go back and watch it. Definitely watch Dr. Phinney's video. It's really, really great. Let's see. CJ Olin or C. Jolin 79 says, I tried intermittent fasting and I get hungry and end up binging. So now I eat 2 meals. I'm 9 months keto. Basically, intermittent fasting is eating 2 meals. I do intermittent fasting. I eat 2 meals. OMAD, one meal a day would be the one, more extensive intermittent fasting. It still is, I guess, technically intermittent fasting. I mean, even Dr. Phinney referred to 2 days a week fasting as intermittent fasting. So it just means, I don't know. I don't know what it means. But yeah, I can't do OMAD either because I can't get all my calories in one meal. And I feel like it's a big, huge binge, even if it isn't. And that's not healthy for my brain. So I never do OMAD, and that's the reason. And now I'm really glad I didn't, because I think I would have burned even more lean mass maybe if I was doing that. Yeah, 2 meals is great. Don't worry about that. And if you're feeling hungry though between meals, it could be an electrolytes issue. A lot of times when my sodium or potassium is low, I get really hungry. So I always do those first to make sure before I eat extra food. Okay, let's see. Oh, did I miss something about? No, I said that already. Okay, just double checking. Okay. Cindy Lewis says, I took a teaspoon of salt in water last night. So a teaspoon of regular salt, depending on the kind, would be about 1,600 milligrams of sodium, okay? And I gained today retaining it. I have a problem with retaining water, so if I take 4 tablespoons a day, I'm afraid I'll swell up. You will, but this is the reason why. It isn't because you retain water when you have sodium. It's because your body has been depleted and it's used to hanging on to the sodium. You have to do it for a long enough time for your body to trust you, and then the water will drop. Also, try raising your potassium. So when you're doing your sodium, try taking a gram or 2 of light salt along with it. Potassium seems to be the kicker for me with the weight, with the water weight. If I keep my potassium above 2,000 a day, and I've been taking 4 grams a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and that seems to be really helping with the amount of food that I get. That's helping my water retention, though I was up 3 pounds today, water, because I ate 1,800 calories yesterday. The scale is just such a pain in the butt. But yeah, you do retain and lose and retain and lose. Don't panic over that. You will probably bloat for a few days and it will not be fun. But trust me, if you wait it out, your body will learn to trust you and it will go back down. Your body's going to be happier with that amount of sodium, because your body needs it. And the reason you're retaining it is because you're not giving it what it needs. Does that make sense? It's like it's kind of in starvation mode, and so it's hanging on to your sodium. And when it gets more, it's like, oh, sodium, we got to keep this for later. But because it thinks it's never going to get it again. But if you keep giving it every single day, it will go, oh, we're getting sodium. We don't need to hold on to this. Whoosh. And then it will go. That's just what happens when you do keto without supplementing your electrolytes. It happens to every single person who does that. Every single person. I have yet to meet a person who wasn't supplementing electrolytes, started keto without supplementing, realized they hit a wall, added supplements back in, and didn't swell up for at least a week. I've yet to meet a person who that didn't happen to. Well, I have some people that swear they don't need to do it, but they haven't actually tried doing it the way I recommend. So they are probably still retaining and just don't realize it. But I have people arguing with me about that all the time. And I'm like, whatever, do your thing. I'm just telling you what Dr. Phinney says, and that's what Dr. Phinney says. So there you go. All right. Gary and Colleen Thomas says, I'm new to your page and I love it. I'm trying to switch over to the chronometer from Carb Manager and I'm confused at the settings. Do you have a video on setting up your chronometer app? I do, but it's old. I will tell you what your problem is though, because that's easy and it's everybody's problem. Go into your profile, your settings, go to your diet profile, and make sure it's set to default fixed values or default fixed targets, whichever it's values or targets. I can't remember, but it's default fixed. Then it'll let you change your amounts for your macros, and then it'll be fixed. That's the only problem anyone ever has with chronometer. Everything else is really easy. So if that's your issue, if you're just having trouble figuring out how to get the macros in there, that's how. So I hope that helps. If not, I can make a whole video on it. It's just complicated to make a video on chronometer because I have to have 2 recording devices. And right now I only have 1 phone, unless I borrow Dave's or my daughter's. I use my phone for everything. Everybody's like, what kind of camera do you use? Your videos look so amazing. I use my phone. It's the light. It's the light up here. Makes me look good. It's a cheap $20 light from Amazon. You can see it. It's a little ring light. You can see it right in my glasses. Cute, right? Also this light, okay? And my favorite light. Ding. Oh, it's not even on. No wonder I don't look as good. I only have a soft glow. Yeah, there it is, baby. Oh, I look so much better now, don't I? Yes. I love that light. Do you see that? It's all about the light, baby. So if you're looking to make good videos that look really professional and really nice, it's all about the light. Don't worry about the camera. But my phone is a good one. I have a Galaxy S10 Plus. I just started on my Galaxy S7 though, and it did great. My 9 Plus was awesome. The 10 Plus is great. I can't wait for the 11. Dying over that one. It's going to be so amazing. I mentioned this before. Do I know how many calories I burn in a day? Yes. I will bring my DEXA scan out just for talking about that because I have it here. Okay. 1,554 calories a day. And it says, this is a nutritional baseline indicating the number of calories you need to intake to sustain lean tissue. Depending on your goals, you will need a caloric deficit or surplus DEXA Body offers a comprehensive test which offers an in-depth calculation of your total body caloric requirements. So it's a guesstimate based on my lean mass. I didn't do the official BMR measurement, but that I wonder if they use my oxygen and stuff. That's on my list of things to do. I really should pay the extra money and get that done. So for me, at 117 pounds of lean tissue, that includes my skin, bones, muscle, water, whatever, I think. It includes everything but fat, I think. So based on the amount I have, 117 pounds of lean mass, my scale says 116. I need 1,500 calories a day to maintain my lean mass. So that's basically my BMR, what I burn sitting still, okay? But I don't sit still. Everyone knows I don't sit still. None of us sit still, right? None of us just sit in bed all day and don't move. So we obviously are going to burn more than that. So you can assume that that's your basal. And if you eat that, you're at a deficit because you're basically going to burn extra above that. They actually recommended to me 1,800 calories to lose weight and 2,300 calories to maintain. Which ironically, I've done 2,300 calories to maintain and it didn't maintain. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I was also bigger. Okay. Susan the Crew, are you local? She says, so many options. I want to eat keto cakes in the fall as well. I haven't mentioned keto cakes all summer because I have tried really hard not to even look at them. But I will tell you, the keto cakes is now selling cookies and cheesecake as well as keto cakes. Right? If I had some money, which I do not at the moment anyway, not until Saturday, which is when I was going to buy my meter. Anyway, if I had any money right now, I would be ordering some freaking keto cakes for Saturday delivery. I want them so bad. But I have no money for that. So that's okay, because I'm not going to buy any for right now anyways, because I'm not quite ready for that yet. I'm still getting my mindset shift to figure out what I'm going to do before I do stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, Christina said maybe too many calories out, so went to burning lean mass and fat. Yeah, good chance because I do a lot more dancing than I used to. Yeah, obviously I needed more than that. So, yeah. Mama Boo Designs by Kathy says, I'm new to your channel and I homeschool also. I wonder if you have your children eating the keto lifestyle. No, I highly encourage it and we talk about it often. The kids know why I'm doing it. They know that it's the healthier way to eat. I believe in free agency when it comes to food. I do not intend to force my children to do anything that they feel like is forced upon them. Many of them have food allergies and they know that they have to avoid those foods because they are allergic to them. I am trying to get some of my children who I know struggle to consider sugars to be an allergy to them. But it's going to take time for me to get them to that place. My 17-year-old knows that he should be eating ketogenically. He did eat ketogenically last summer. He lost 35 pounds. Since then, he has gone back on eating sugar, not on eating wheat, and he has put on 70 pounds in a year. He knows why. And he does try, but he's also a 17-year-old boy. And he's also 6'2". And he looks great. I'm not worried about that. And he may have put on a lot of muscle too. We don't know for sure how much of that is chub. I mean, he does have some chub, but I'm not one to force my kids to do things. I'm more of an unschooler. When we come to homeschool, we only have certain requirements, and all of those are personally chosen. We sit down every year and they make personal goals of what they want to accomplish, and we make a schedule and they have to stick to that the best that they can, but it's not super strict. So that's kind of how I am about food. I've taught them everything I know. They know everything. They even came with me to the DEXA scan for homeschool science. We learned all about the bones in the body. We had so much fun. And it's really good for them to see me and how healthy I feel and how much I can do with them. And my little ones don't even remember the fat mom. My baby doesn't even remember me being in my bed all the time and doing nothing and being sad. They have just happy mom. And I love that. Love that. So, no, I do not, but I would like them to. we tend to make dinners that are more ketogenic friendly than we used to. So we are moving in that direction a bit. I'd say 4 out of 7 nights of the week, we have a ketogenic friendly meal that is friendly to all of us for dinner. Either some kind of like meat and veg or a soup of some kind. And the other days they do chicken and rice because rice is cheap and I have 9 children. So hope that is help. All right, let's see. Kelly Peter says, this is scary. I'm so confused now. I hope I didn't confuse you. I know it's hard when you have all these people out there swearing that the fasting is the way to go. I'm grateful that I actually heard this last year when he went to low carb Breckenridge. Actually, it was Matt and Mega who pointed it out on Keto Connect that made me watch this video last year. And so I have not fallen into the trap of fasting, but I highly recommend if you are currently fasting that you reevaluate your plan. Unless you're doing fasting for a specific health reason, I would evaluate it and decide whether or not it's worth it to you. But I'm not saying like there are no benefits from it. It's just that the long-term evidence is that he's saying the long-term evidence is that it's not as beneficial as they make it sound. Okay, let's see. Links to the scale. Oh yeah, I bet you she's already sent. I bet she's already posted that because Karen is the one who. But if you just Google, I mean, go on Amazon and look up Renpho, RENPHO, it'll pop up. It's a great scale. Oh, that's a good question. Terry Lindemann. I love this question. How do you feel about pickled juice for electrolytes? It sucks, and this is why. Pickle juice is great because in a pinch, you can get it at the gas station. You can go get one of those pickles, eat the pickle, and drink the salt, okay? The problem with pickle juice, number one problem with pickle juice is that there's varying amounts of sodium in pickle juice based on brands, and it's not on the label. There's no way to know how much sodium is in pickle juice. So like I said, in a pinch, it can be good. If you're feeling crappy and that's all you have on hand, go for it. It's palatable, you know, whatever. You like it, it tastes good, drink it. It's not going to hurt you. But you can't track it so that you can make sure it's a daily supplement. I call pickle juice a rescue remedy, but it's not a daily supplement to make sure you're getting your sodium before you need it. It's a rescue remedy for when you messed up and you are desperate and you don't have any other form of sodium. Okay. I have a lot of videos on electrolytes in my Keto for Beginners. I have a video on electrolytes that explains the amounts that you need and how to get them. That's a great place to start. I highly recommend watching that video. It's just if you go onto my the community tab or up above, there's a playlists link. And in there, you'll find my keto beginner guide playlist. It has 3 videos, and one of them, I think the third one, is electrolytes. So I don't recommend it for long term. Also, the amount of sodium that you need would far exceed the amount of pickle juice that is in a pickle jar. You would be buying pickles up the yin yang. Do you eat that many pickles? I don't eat that many pickles. So that's another reason, like, you would run out. If you really like the flavor of pickle juice, try adding some apple cider vinegar to your Sole water. Same thing. Adding some dill. Make it taste good. Make up a big batch of Sole water and add vinegar and dill to it and seasonings just so that you know the amount of sodium that's in it and consume it that way. Go for it. But don't use pickle juice as a daily supplement. There you go. All right. Let's see. Welcome, Paul Major. Good. Welcome from the UK. And he's a doctor. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't have default to choose on Chronometer? Huh. That is a very good question then. I do not know. I'm going to have to look. Are you on my Facebook group? Because we can troubleshoot you on the Facebook group if you want to post screenshots of what you're looking at. Karen Marie is really good with Chronometer as well as me. So if you can go on my Facebook group and ask your question there, we can help you. The Facebook group is just Keto Chaos. Make sure it's the group, not the page. Hey, Lizzie's F87. Good to see you. Hi. Cindy Lewis. Oh, you said thank you. You're welcome. Let's see. Yeah, the protein, fat, carbs don't match the macro chart in the book from the Facebook page. Yeah, they don't. That's why we have to change them because it just gives you the keto recommendation, which is the higher fat version. You don't want that. Okay, welcome to Taking Down Fat with C-Dub. Let's see. Cindy Lewis says trying less fat and more protein because I haven't lost weight for a good while now. That's actually what I did. I did lose a crap ton of fat doing it. I did. So that's good. That's good. All right. Let's see. She's been on keto since August and only lost 13 pounds. That's actually not bad. Unless you're really super obese like I was, 15 pounds in that much time is really good. I lost, I think, 6 pounds of fat. I think only since June. So, yeah. All right. Also, yes, your body could be healing itself, so you never know why it stops. Sorry, Kelly. Love you. When your head is spinning, that is a sign that change is happening that you aren't ready for, and you can choose to be excited and take it by the horns or freak out. I have a mix of both when that happens to me. That is why I made the 200 pounds lost video where I was freaking out, because sometimes when you do something or learn something, your brain goes, wah! And it takes you a second to wrap your brain around it. So don't panic. You will get it. You will get it. Karen, can you post the link to the Renfo scale? Somebody was asking for the link to Amazon to the Renfo scale. I don't have any affiliate links to Amazon. I'm not like cool enough to do that yet. I need like somebody to help me with that stuff because I don't get it. I have all these companies messaging me all the time, like, wanting to send me free products for me to talk about it on here. 99% of them I would never use. And whenever I say, oh, sure, I charge $150 for a video, they all go, oh, we don't have budget for that. And I'm like, who doesn't have an advertising budget? Who are these people that think that they can just take advantage of YouTubers? I'm sorry. Well, then I'm not going to make you a video because I don't want to use your product anyway. Even big companies. A certain big one contacted me recently and wouldn't pay for a video. And I was like, I even gave them crap. I was like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. So I'm supposed to just take free stuff that I would never in a million years use it, tell people to buy it, and you make money, but I don't? How is that a thing? That is not a thing. Just so you know, YouTubers, if you're doing that, stop it. That is not a thing. And I lowered my price to $150 and still nobody wants to pay $150 for a video. I just cannot even. It's as bad as being a photographer. At least AdSense has a sense to pay for what they say they're going to pay. Irritating, but they don't pay enough. All right. Sorry, I'm going on a soapbox that has nothing to do with anything here. So cute. Thank you for the link to the scale. I love you. Okay. Lizzie's F87. Going on vacation for the first time since my honeymoon. Planning to go off plan. Can't go to Mexico without trying an authentic tortilla. Any tips? Ooh. That is a hard one. You will get sick. The only way to avoid getting sick is to introduce carbs before you go and get sick, eat carbs every day, and then be glycogen adapted again before you go. But you will gain weight doing that, probably. Mostly water if you keep it at a caloric deficit. So if you watch your calories and track everything and you keep your caloric deficit low, you can feasibly get your body back on glycogen before you go so that you don't feel like you're going to die and vomit everywhere on your trip. If you wait till your trip, you will feel awful and you won't enjoy your trip. I don't know what my advice is. Personally, I just wouldn't do it because I just don't think tortillas are worth it. But I mean, I'm not going to Mexico, so I don't know. For me, I'd just be excited to eat all the amazing different meats and just do it without the tortilla. If you keep the carb amount small, try to eat just a quarter of a tortilla, you may not get sick. But just from the people that I've watched do this, they go on a binge and they eat everything in sight. And the next day they're vomiting and diarrhea everywhere, or they have horrible gas and they can't move and they don't enjoy their vacay. So just be careful. Try and keep it small amounts, little tastes, or get glycogen adapted again before you go. Which I wouldn't do that myself, but I don't know how else to do it. Like, I really don't. Good luck. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, poison yourself before you go. Yeah, I know. I'm glad you asked, because can you even imagine like being in your awesome like swimsuit and then like having to run to the bathroom every 15 minutes because you feel like you're gonna die? I just actually read a post about a girl who did that, and she was on the airplane going home when she was on a window, and so she had that, she kept having to get up, and she would hold it and hold it and hold it and be in horrible, horrible pain until she couldn't stand it anymore. And then she'd get up and go. And then she got to the airport and she had to stay in the bathroom for 30 minutes before she felt like she could drive home. And then she got home and she puked and she had diarrhea for like all night. Oh, it's so bad. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Most people just get bloated and gassy. It hurts, but you can like still do stuff. Hopefully if you don't go on a full-on binge, you'll be okay. And it also depends on how long you've been keto. People, the longer you're keto, it seems like the worse the reaction is. If you were keto only 6 days and you're going back on a binge every weekend, like some of the people that I know, you know, you're who you are. You don't necessarily feel as crappy, but you also never get anywhere because you just gained the weight that you lost all week. You don't go anywhere. So yeah. Okay. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. She says that's so awful. Yeah, it is. It sounds so terrible. And everybody always asks me, have you ever had a cheat meal? And they're always shocked when I say no. But I am petrified of a cheat meal. Petrified. I go by fear, guys. Fear and fear alone. If I go on a cheat meal, I'm going on a full-on binge. I am going to eat a 5-pound bag of gummy bears because I freaking love gummy bears. I have a hard time keeping myself in check with just keto gummy bears like Smart Sweets. And I love Smart Sweets. They taste so good. And I still have a hard time limiting myself to the one tiny bag. And if I eat the one tiny bag, I still get gassy and bloated because I think it kicks me out of ketosis. I really do. And I still eat them. So technically that's a cheat in my mind because I feel so bad. I feel like I went out of ketosis. But because it's technically keto and I don't really gain a lot of weight from it, I don't consider it to be a cheat. When I cheat with keto stuff. I get too many keto cakes or too much whipped cream or whatever. You know, like I'll get one of those things of Walmart Great Value spray can whipped cream and eat the whole dang can. That's 62 grams of fat. That's like 600 calories in a bottle. That's what I do when I cheat. So I definitely cheat on my macros. I just don't go the carb direction. If I were going to Mexico, I would eat all the beef and all the cheese. And I would just eat tons and tons of it. And I would shoot my calories out of the craziness. You know, like that's just what I would do because that's how I cheat. And I would get some heavy cream and I would say, can you make me heavy cream? And, you know, bring my own sweetener or something. I don't know. Like I would just, that's what I would do. So, but I didn't get to go to Mexico. I was supposed to get to go and I didn't get to go. But I did go to Orlando with Karen and we freaking ate like queens. And the food was delicious. And we did not kick ourselves out of ketosis. And I only gained 3 pounds. I was so proud. So proud of us. We did so amazing. All right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Christina says the same thing. Christina Salmon. Oh, wait. Yeah, she's like, choose no because I won't stop. Yep, I would eat everything in sight for like days and months. And that's actually what happened to me. I lost 110 pounds. And then during my pregnancy, I'm like, oh, I can eat more carbs. So, and I didn't know carbs were the thing that made me lose weight. I kind of thought so, but I wasn't really sure because I had done it with a shake diet. So I went to eating green smoothies, which are healthy, right? No, they are not. I gained a ton of weight. And by the time I had the baby, I was so glycogen adapted that all I wanted was candy. And I began to eat candy. And then over time, I put on quite a bit of weight and couldn't lose it. And I was frustrated. And then I got pregnant again and had a miscarriage and was depressed. And then I ate until I ate and ate and ate and ate and ate until I could die. And I like ate so much that I got to 370. No, I was 312. 312 when I got pregnant with number 9. When I realized I'm just going up and up and up and I'm not going to go down. And I better get number 9 in if I'm going to do it. Because I knew I wanted one more baby for a lot of reasons I won't go into. But I knew I was supposed to have one more baby. And I got so big with him. I got to 373. Almost died after I had him from pleurisy. Was horribly depressed all year. Was able to get back down to 312. And then shot back up to 374 by the time he was a year old. Because I cannot control my carbohydrate consumption. I get too hungry and I get obsessed and I think about food and I want to eat it all day. And I'll eat bags of gummy bears and bags of chocolate and bags of pretzels and gallons of Coca-Cola. It's not good. It's not good. I know that that's what I will do. So I will not go there. I will not. So if I'm going to go on a binge, it's going to be freaking keto crap, and I'm going to eat a crap ton of it. I'm going to eat all the cream cheese. I'm going to eat all the heavy whipping cream. I am going to eat all the nuts if I really want to, but that really makes me retain water. And I'm going to eat all the keto cakes, and I'm going to eat all the sugar-free Jell-O, and all the steak, and all the whatevers, the chicken wings, and I am just going to gorge myself when I need to gorge myself, because I still struggle with food addiction and binge eating still to this day. But I will not mentally go out of ketosis. I may physically go out, but mentally I'm still there. And that's huge for me. I will not eat birthday cake. I will eat keto cake only. Keto cake is awesome. They do ship to all 50 states. It's expensive, but it's worth it. Okay, anyway, moving on. There's got to be another question. We're already over an hour, so let's see. Dun, dun, dun. If you're always tired, sore, and cranky, you're probably having electrolyte issues. Go watch my electrolyte video, just so you know. That's not normal for keto. Let's see. Okay, Sherry Akuta says, curiously, how do you handle the food that is around that is not keto? I'm making an assumption that your kids aren't on keto. Yes, they aren't. We talked about that a minute ago. How do you handle the temptation? Oh, it's a daily battle. I actually got some tips from Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom in Food with Keto. I think, or Pearls of Wisdom in Keto, I think is her channel. Sarah Pearls of Wisdom. Okay. She is very strict keto. She does OMAD, high protein now, thanks to me, right, Sarah? But she is very strict with no sweeteners and nothing. But she talks about what she calls squinting. It's where you basically pretend the food does not exist. You don't see it. So it's in the cupboard, but you gloss over it. And it's a practice thing. So when you go to the grocery store and you're shopping only those outer aisles, walk down the inner aisles, look at the foods you normally would be very tempted to buy and go, I'm not choosing to eat that because I'm more important than that food. Or just whatever makes you feel empowered to say no to the food. And you just go around saying no to all of it. It's practice. You just get used to saying no over and over and over. When you're going through the cupboards and you go, oh my gosh, that cereal looks so amazing. And then you go, but I'm choosing not to eat that because I care about myself, because I want to be successful, because I love my children. I want to be alive. I have all of these things I say to myself, but it's just practice over time. Also, when I began keto, I was freaking desperate. I was willing to do anything. And you couldn't put a carb in my mouth for anything. It's not that way now. I am actually more tempted now, being at my goal, 200 pounds lost. It's not necessarily my full goal, but like where I'm going to stay for a minute. Being here makes it so much harder because I'm like, I could just eat one gummy worm. It wouldn't hurt me. I could track it. It would probably stay under my carbs. I could have that be my whole carbs for the day and I would be okay. But I will not be okay. And I know I will not be okay. And so I say, I just have the conversation with myself. You know, you could do that, but we're not going to go there. You don't want to go there. There's no reason to go there. You can have smart sweets. Just have some smart sweets and move on. You can have some Jell-O. Have some sugar-free Jello and move on. Tomorrow you'll be proud of yourself. It's really okay. You don't need to eat that gummy worm. Gummy worms are so tempting. They are the worst for me. I don't know why they are my freaking kryptonite, and my kids love them and they're always around. And it's probably good that they're always around. I sniff the bag. That helps too. Believe it or not, sniffing the bag helps so much. My kids will ask me to open their chocolate or their gummies, and I'll open the bag and I'll take huge whiffs, sometimes 2 or 3, and then I just sigh and pass them along. And it's almost enough to like give me that feeling of, ooh, that's yummy. And then I move it along. I have to do it a lot. I have to do it a lot. We have always have things in the house that I can't eat. We're moving toward not having as much sugar in the house, and we're moving toward not having as much wheat in the house because most of my kids, it appears, are gluten intolerant, and I am moving way in that direction. So I don't have as many like yummy breads and things tempting me. So those smells that are really intense don't always happen. And when they are happening, it's because I'm making chaffles and they smell like that. And the kids are coming in. They have been asking for chaffles because they smell good. You know, when I'm making food for the kids, I always start with something that smells good to get their attention. So like I cook garlic and onion with some olive oil in the pan, no matter what I'm making, because I want to get them salivating for whatever I'm making, they'll eat it. And it's the same kind of thing with my keto food. If I make it smell good, if I make it really taste good, it'll call to me, and it's so satisfying. And over time, you just addicted to the satisfaction, and you just get to the point where you just don't care as much about the temptation, and it's a time thing. And if it's really bad, you should go, like I did, 8 months with no sweeteners but stevia. So I didn't do the Mio water enhancer. I didn't do the sugar-free Jello. I didn't do the sugar-free Jello until I was a year in. So I kept myself away from the sweets because, you know, if you have a craving and you eat something sweet, it's not going to let that craving going to go away. It's going to keep coming back, right? But if you just keep ignoring it, keep moving on, keep yourself busy, play Candy Crush, do what you got to do. Keep yourself busy, 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 busy. That's why I'm so busy. If I sit down and give myself time to think about it, I'm going to think about all the things I want to eat, right? So I keep myself really busy. That's another coping technique. It's not necessarily the best one, but it helps. It helps a lot. And I have a lot of kids, so it's easy. So those things over time will get you to the point where you're like, oh, I can actually eat sweet stuff that's keto friendly, and it's not going to make me binge, and it's not going to make me crave sugar. And it took me about 8 months to get to that point. And that's when I started adding the Mio water enhancer to my yogurt, which I need in my life. So it's not easy to go without that now. I can't go without it now. I like need my Bang drink in the morning, and I need my tea. Well, in the winter, I need my herbal tea sweetened with I like liquid stevia for herbal tea, and maybe some liquid sucralose sometimes. And I also have Creo Brew, which is like hot chocolate. It's kind of watery, but it tastes chocolatey, and I can add a little half and half to it, or heavy cream if I'm doing the higher fat, and some stevia, and it tastes really chocolatey and yum. There's lots of options out there for sweets. And so that's the thing. Like if I'm craving something, I'm like, you know what? I really don't need that. If I really want something, I can go buy a Lily chocolate bar. I can go buy some Smart Sweets from GNC and like get my sweet fix if I really need it. But then I go about, do I really need it? And sometimes, yeah. And then I go eat a whole 6 things of sugar-free Winky brand Jello, which by the way is the best one. Don't bother Jello brand. It's disgusting. Snack Pack brand is pretty good, but Winky brand from the fridge aisle over by the yogurt is the best. Just make sure you're getting the sugar-free, because I got the kind with sugar in it once and it tastes disgusting. It isn't as sweet as the sugar-free. Go figure. Sucralose is awesome. It's so much better than sugar. I don't know why anyone would eat sugar when there's sucralose. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. I hope that helps. All right, let's see. Okay, Mama Boo Designs wants to know what types of supplements I take, from a multivitamin to MCT oil. Okay, I take sodium, a lot of it, a crap ton of it. I usually consume 8 to 10,000 milligrams of sodium per day, not including my food. That freaks people out, but that's what I do. Sodium is key. Number 2, potassium supplements I have just recently started doing because I can't quite reach the potassium number that my body likes, which is 2,000 milligrams, with just food alone. I keep adding salads and spinach and stuff, and it's just not getting there. Maybe I need to add some avocado now that I'm doing the higher fat, but I couldn't quite get there. And so I started adding 4 grams a day of potassium salt. I do not recommend doing potassium citrate powder. You can easily overdo potassium. I don't recommend potassium pills. Light salt's the only way I'd go. It tastes disgusting. If you think sole water is bad, light salt makes sole water look like sweet juice. Ugh, light salt is so gross, but I do it anyway. I put 2 grams of light salt in a teeny cup and I fill it up with that much water and a huge squirt of Mio and I mix it up and then I freaking chug it and then follow it with water, water, water. It's so grody. It's so grody. But after doing it for 2 to 3 weeks, I actually now like the taste of it. Isn't that weird? I actually now don't think it's grody. This morning I was like, oh, hey, that's not so bad. Weird, right? Your taste can definitely change. Okay. And magnesium, I take magnesium glycinate. I personally take 635 milligrams a day of magnesium glycinate. That's the perfect amount for me to keep my bowels moving, to keep my muscles from cramping, to feel like I get enough sleep. Those things. Those are key. I also do take a multivitamin that has vitamin D, not D3, as vitamin D from lichen in it. It is called Ritual Vitamins. They're for women only, not for men. Sorry, men. I take those daily as well. Those give me an energy boost. They have boron, K2, iron, B vitamins. What else is in there? There's no calcium. The K2 counts for helping you absorb calcium. I'm trying to remember all of them. Well, anyway, they're all very, very good. I have been taking those vitamins for 2 years and I still love them. And if I have to go without them ever because I like lose them or I forget to take them with me, I feel less energy. I don't feel as good. They're just amazing. They help with hair loss. They're just good. I really should do a partnership with like companies like that where I can say like, dude, buy Ritual vitamins because they are awesome. And there's a lot of naysayers out there that say Ritual is, lying or like it doesn't really live up to the hype. No way. I've been taking them 2 years and I still love them. Still love them. I don't like living without them. In the winter, I add some vitamin D3 on top of that to keep my depression at bay because I do suffer from depression and in the winter it's bad. So I do that. Do I take MCT oil? No. And I do not recommend it. This is the reason. If you're trying to lose weight, drinking your fat is not going to do anything but slow it down. You want to burn body fat. You don't want to burn everything you eat dietarily has to burn first. Yes, MCT oil is a easily converted to ketone fat. So it can give you an energy boost, which is good, I guess, if you're going to be doing exercise or if you are doing keto for a medical reason, like if you're needing keto for epilepsy. Yes, all the MCT oil, please. But if you are doing keto because you are obese, drinking your fats is doing nothing for you. It is empty calories. It's doing nothing for you at all. It is just getting in the way of your weight loss. Your body is going to burn the same amount of fat no matter what you consume. And if you want to consume more from your body, you got to eat less. And I know that that sounds like the worst keto thing you can possibly say. And I know that people have like told me a million times how stupid that is, but it is fact. It is science. Dr. Phinney has tons of articles on it. Don't take it if you're trying to lose fat. Take it if you are doing it for a medical reason, or if you're at maintenance and you want that extra energy for workouts, that kind of thing. That is what you use MCT oil for. If you need a creamer for your coffee, MCT powder has way less fat and it gives you that same creamy mouthfeel. So MCT powder is better. It's still high in fat, but it's not as bad as MCT oil. But if you can do anything, do half and half. It's just better. Yes, it has some carbs. Track them. Don't exceed them. Don't exceed your carbs. Okay. Do I have any pictures of me when I was at my highest weight? The only picture I have is the one that I use in my video because I took a picture that day that I started. And that was officially my highest weight. I was 374 pounds that day. So in the big black and white dress. I do have a picture of me that I have never posted where I look bigger than that. I don't know if I weighed more than that. It was actually right after I almost died and I went to the hospital with my baby and I was so swollen with water that I literally could not put my arms around my breasts. They couldn't touch. It was horrifying. No one took a picture of me and I wish they had because I probably looked like a monster. I probably looked like a 600-pound woman. at least. I'm sure I weighed over 400 pounds, though no one ever weighed me, so I do not know. I was full of water. I never have peed so much in all my life. They put me on Lasix, and I peed pounds and pounds and pounds of pee. So, but after I got home from the hospital, I have one picture where I was going to church and I took a picture with my baby. And eventually I will show that picture. I just feel like it's a lie picture because I was swollen still. And so I feel like even though I look way fatter, I really didn't weigh more. And it wasn't my official like weight. It was baby weight. It was post baby, post this horrible experience. But do I have very many pictures? No, and I regret it. Why? Why did I take a picture in that stupid, ridiculous, giant black dress where you cannot see the fat rolls on me? Because I was embarrassed and I didn't want to do any picture at all. But I did it because I knew I'd need it. I knew I was going to do it this time. I knew it. But I couldn't make myself take a picture like that. I couldn't see myself like that. It would be too hard. So I didn't let anyone take pictures of me like that. So all I have are those dress pictures. Every 4 weeks, I made myself stand on the front porch on my way to church. That's why my weigh-ins are on Sunday, because January 1st that year was on Sunday. If it had been on Monday, maybe I would have a different outfit. I don't know. But that is literally the only picture I have that's officially a picture. I have a couple that Dave took that are kind of like after I'd started keto and stuff like that. But that's all I've got of my official highest weight. I see a super chat, so I'm going to find that really quick. It's from Princess Ninja and Keto. Hi, Melanie. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I haven't been able to check in on you in a while, and I've been worried about you. She says she just loves me, and that's all. Hi, everyone. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that so much. You're so wonderful. I got to meet her in Florida. Oh my gosh, my brain is off. I haven't had my Soleil water today, guys. Got to meet her when I was in Florida, and it was awesome. Okay, let's see. Squinting. Yes, it's so great. Okay, you're feeling desperate last night. Your chest was pounding. You were afraid you were going to have a heart attack. Is that because you were wanting the carbs so bad, or because you need electrolytes? Because that sounds like electrolytes to me. That's actually how I feel when my potassium drops. My chest gets really painful and tight, and I think I'm going to have a heart attack. It's potassium. Take some light salt and some sodium. A lot of it. A lot of sodium. Don't take so much that you have the poos, though. Be careful. All right. Oh my gosh. How much of a calorie deficit do I recommend? That's really up to you. We gave I think 300 to 500 calorie deficit. I can't remember what we decided on my. So if you go and get my list, it has a pretty good deficit already for a skinny person, not for a heavy person. So it's a really good deficit if you're really heavy. It's a small deficit if you've lost a lot. So it gets to the point where it doesn't work as well. But that's up to you. How much of a calorie deficit do you want to do? 1,300 calories has worked really great for me from 374 pounds all the way down to now. Still works. I have adjusted how I get that 300 or 1,300. I have raised the protein and lowered the fat, which helped me really burn the fat fast. But I also lost some lean mass, so I don't know. Okay, let's see. Flavored seltzer water with Soleil, light salt, and Mio on ice. Yep, that sounds amazing. Do that. Yep. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and if you mix it with the Soleil, it does taste better. I just like to get it over with. I chug my Soleil and I chug that. But if on exercise days, I often put it in my water bottle and put 4 tablespoons of Soleil in a big, huge water bottle with 2 grams of light salt, and I drink half at a time before and after my class. And that seems to work really well too. All the sodium could be contributed to the elevated blood pressure I had at my doctor appointment the other day. Are you talking to me? I didn't have a doctor appointment recently, and my latest blood pressure was 112/54. The sodium does nothing to BP, in my opinion. The only reason the sodium elevates BP is because if you are depleted of sodium, your body is retaining it. And when you start the sodium, your BP can go up because your body will retain it. It will retain water. Retaining water is what's causing the BP to go up. If you can push through it long enough, if your BP stays stable enough, I'm not saying like go into the 200s or anything crazy. Watch your BP. If it's going too high, don't do it. But if you wait long enough, it will go back down and your BP will go with it. High BP is caused by too much water in you. And keto is anti-inflammatory. Your body doesn't like to retain water, and it won't on keto if you're doing it right. But if you weren't doing it right, it will retain water. And that's why I'm trying to figure out the whole mix of electrolytes that works for me. And the potassium seems to be the clicker for me, and the water weight. If you really can't do the sodium because you're BP, then you got to raise your potassium up even higher. You need to have 3,500 to 5,000 milligrams of potassium, which is really hard to get without potassium citrate. And it can be dangerous because if you eat too much potassium, you can stop your heart. Whereas if you eat too much sodium, it's not going to do that. So that's why I recommend the sodium, because if you keep your sodium high enough, you will not drop. Dr. Phinney, in the video we talked about at the beginning, Dr. Phinney talks about that your sodium drops. I mean, if you don't consume enough sodium, your body will dump potassium to retain sodium. That's just how your body is set up. So if you want to keep your potassium level good, you need to consume the right amount of potassium, which is 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium from food sources, if possible, while you're keeping your sodium level good. That's 5,000 milligrams or more on top of food. And then your body will keep this balance, right? If your sodium's really low, your potassium needs to be higher because your body's going to dump it. Does that make sense? That's the layman's terms. There's science that proves it. I am not talking out my butt, guys. This is stuff that's real. I didn't make this up. Dr. Phinney talks about it all the time. Go to his website, vertahealth.com, look up his blog post. He has lots of them. But suffice it to say, if you don't supplement, you will be in a bad place. Oh, shoot. Kelly Sir says no salt made your peripheral neuropathy way worse. Yeah, if that's the case, then you need to just do the sodium and keep the keep the potassium coming from potassium foods. Do potassium foods do the same thing? When you add lots of lettuce, leafy greens, some spinach, but be careful with that because it has, I think, something in it. Something olates. That can be a problem. But for most people aren't. When you add high potassium foods, does it do that? Because maybe you just need to do more salads and things like that. Add some avocado. Put that into your macros. You can also try potassium citrate and see if it's just that. I don't recommend citrate because it's easy to overdo. And I follow another group called the Magnesium Advocacy Council, but they don't actually support keto, so it's not the best place to hang out. But they do talk about citrates interrupting, I always forget the name, cerebroplasm. Oh my heck, that's not it. I can't say it right. But it gets in the way of the body's processes of processing iron, I think. I still don't get it. I have studied that so much and I still don't get it. Cerebroplasm. It interferes with cerebroplasm, what I think. Whatever that is. Anyway. It's an hour and a half, you guys. My kids are probably wondering if I'm at where I am. All right. Yeah, beware of the Soleil poops. Don't take too much at once. Hey, Liz Suarez, welcome to the family. Yeah, if you're having trouble with constipation, it's electrolytes as well. More sodium, more magnesium. It'll help. The more sodium you consume over time, the more you can take at once. I can take 4 tablespoons now without the poops, but I couldn't even take 1 tablespoon at the beginning. So there you go. Yeah, most people do not have sodium affected blood pressure. That is a fact. Oxalates, thank you. Appreciate it. Love it. Hey, Jennifer Costa, good to see you. Liz says, I'm a beginner, kind of lost the moment with this conversation. I'm sure the information will be important to me soon. Yes, come back and watch it later. But right now, if you're a beginner, number one thing, go watch my beginners playlist. If you go up at the top, there's playlists up there. Go to the beginners and watch those 3 videos. Go to my Facebook page, Keto Chaos, get the getting started guide. It's very easy to understand. It will lay it all out there for you and it'll make it very easy. There's a macros chart in there. You can also email me if you don't have Facebook at ketochaos@gmail.com and I will send it to you. I will send it quickly. I'm not slow. So I send it right from my phone whenever I get the email as fast as I can. So go ahead and shoot me an email if you don't want to join the Facebook group. But the Facebook group is great because I can help you troubleshoot, and I have other moderators that will help you troubleshoot. And that's really, really beneficial to have the support. All right. I don't really know much about nutritional yeast. I've never taken it, so I don't know. It would be worth looking into for sure. And same with apple cider vinegar. I don't do that. I really don't do any other supplements. I'm sure there's great supplements in the world, but I don't really do it. Yes, putting pink salt, track your pink salt, weigh it, and put it in your coffee. Supposedly it makes it easier to drink it black. That's what I've heard. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know, but that's worth a try. All right, guys. We're at 90 minutes. I got to be done. I'm homeschooling my kids, and probably they're running amok by now, and I got to go get them back under control. Also, I need my first meal, and I'm hungry, and I need my soy water because I only took a tablespoon, and I should have taken 2 because I'm dying right now. Dying. I need some. I love this stuff. So thank you so much for everybody for joining me. We had a lot of people today, and I'm really grateful that I could help you guys understand this. If you missed the information about the Dr. Phinney's video, don't forget to go back, check that, and watch his video because it's very beneficial if you've been thinking about doing any kind of extended fasting. I highly recommend you watching that before you make your decision. It might change your mind. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. We'll talk to you again soon.